Detective Rivera with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Today's date is February 24th, 2010. The time is 4:16. In the room with me right now is Thomas George Tobin. Is that correct?
Correct.
Did you see any blood in the water or anything like that?
Well, that's part of it. She was scalped and there was no blood.
Okay.
So pretty much we knew then that the heart wasn't beating.
Once they were able to pull her away, how did he let go of the...
He didn't.
He never let go of the...
The arm?
The arm.
He swallowed it.
He swallowed it? So the arm is nowhere.
In Blackfish, director Gabriella Cowperwraith wants to show unaware viewers the unfair treatment and the living conditions killer whales face every day. Also, the director wants to show the unjust behavior and the lies behind a lucrative business, and that these killer whales have killed sea park performers, but have found no explicit reason as to why.
Brand show, it didn't just happen. It's not a singular event. You have to go back over 20 years to understand this.
Dave states you need to go 20 years back in order to understand the situation. Furthermore, you need knowledge and history of the situation in order to comprehend it fully, which is a logical thing to do.
It was a really exciting thing to do until everybody wanted to do it.
What were they telling you were going to do?
Capture orcas.
They had aircraft, they had spotters, they had speedboats, they had bombs they were throwing in the water. They were lighting their bombs with acetylene torches in their boats and throwing them as fast as they could to herd the whales into coves.
John Crow talks about the horrific methods to capture the killer whales, such as throwing bombs with acetylene torches as fast as they could in order to herd the defenseless whales. If the word bomb was heard in the airport, there would be serious consequences, yet bombs are being thrown at whales.
But the orcas had been caught before, and they knew what was going on, and they knew their young ones would be taken from them. So the adults without young went east into a cul-de-sac, and the boats followed them, thinking they were all going that way, while the mothers with babies went north. But the capture teams had aircraft, and they have to come up for air eventually, and when they did, the capture teams alerted the boats and said, oh no, they're going north, the ones with babies. So the boats, the speedboats, caught them there and herded them in.
The two groups of killer whales separate and go different routes in order to protect their young and deceive the hunters, which makes a point of their intelligence. Furthermore, it exemplifies their ability to maneuver in their environment to benefit their livelihoods.
Because the whales in their pools die young, they like to say that all orcas die at 25 or 30 years.
25 to 35 years.
25 to 35 years.
They're documented in the wild, living to be about 35 or mid-30s. They tend to live a lot longer in this environment because they have all the veterinary care.
And of course that's false. We knew by 1980, after a half a dozen years of the research, that they live equivalent to human lifespans. And every other potentially embarrassing fact is twisted and turned and denied one way or another.
So in the wild they live less. And then
like the floppy dorsal fins.
25% of whales have a fin that turns over like that as they get older.
Different employees who work at SeaWorld tell lies about numerous things, such as the age killer whales live up to, the conditions which are better for them to survive in, and they over-exaggerate the number of dorsal collapses that occur. They understate the fact that killer whales have a shorter lifespan in captivity compared to the wild. Dorsal collapse happens only in 1% of whales. However, employees falsely proclaim that 25% of whales have dorsal collapse. This exaggerates their fin deformities on a large scale.
The purpose is to show the perpetual cruelty imposed upon killer whales, and the argument is to elucidate why these whales need to be released from captivity. The film shows opposite viewpoints. One of the viewpoints shows how inhumane, abusive, and violent it is to keep whales in captivity due to a lucrative business, whereas the other viewpoint shows how the trainer who is to blame for these violent attacks and that the whales want to perform these stunts.